Hello, guys. Welcome to our 12th session of our subject IT 313. Our topic for this evening is about research sampling. So our objectives are as follows. Number one, discuss sampling techniques. Number two, value the importance of sampling techniques. And number three, understand mediation of variables between independent and dependent variables. So for research sampling, in statistics, it is the quality assurance and survey methodology, and sampling is the selection of a subset, which is a statistical sample of individuals from within a statistical population to estimate characteristics of the whole population. So statisticians attempt to collect samples that are representative of the population, and that sampling has lower cost and faster data collection than measuring the entire population, and can prove insights in cases where it is infeasible to sample an entire population. So since each observation measures one or more properties, such as the weight, the location, and the color of independent objects or individuals, likewise in surveys or in survey sampling, weights can be applied to the data to adjust for the sample design, particularly in stratified sampling. Now, the results from probability theory and statistical theory that are employed to guide the practice that, like for example, in businesses and medical research, sampling is widely used for gathering information about the population. Acceptance sampling is used to measure or to determine if a production lot of materials meets the governing specifications. But in such cases, guys, sampling for ICT capstone is not that different from other fields. Likewise, it follows the same rule of thumb, like for example, the Sloven's formula. So let's go to the nature of sampling. When we speak about nature of sampling, this refers to the population, that is the entire set of persons, objects, or events, or entities that are researchable for the researcher to intend to study. So, however, in many instances, the population study may not feasible. So the researcher selects a sample or subset of target population. So likewise, guys, if, like for example, if we cannot reach the majority of the population, therefore you need to put up a sample. A sample is just the representation of the whole population. So sampling methods refer to different ways of selecting the sample from the target population. In such cases, some sampling methods aim at obtaining a sample which is the representative of the target population. So generalizing that the study results to the rest of the target population can then be made. So however, if the sample is biased, generalizing from the sample to population may less valid or lead to incorrect inferences. For the population, this is the widely used for taken for such cases like successful statistical practice is based on focus problem definition. So in such cases for sampling, this includes the defining the population from which the sample is drawn, and that the population can be defined as including all the people or item with a characteristic one wishes to understand. So basically, because there is a very rarely enough time or money to gather information from everyone or everything in population, so that is not feasible. And that the goal becomes finding the representative sample or the subset of the population. So, like pareho sa mga survey bala guys, no? Ang mga survey do karon bala. Since election time, we have surveys. Uh, ang ginahimo sa survey is ginabuo lang na ang sample size ka population. Like for example, what is the population of the Philippines? So for example, if the population of the Philippines is 28 million people, you don't need to interview 28 million people. All you have to do is to have a sample size which represents 28 million. So if you use the Sloven's formula, you can get 28 million and then compute for the sample size. So instead of 28 million, ang computon mo lang ang sample, ang result ka sampling ninyo. So kumpira man da ang result if amo lang da ang survey nanda, it will represent the entirety of the population. So, amo da ka simple kung panamdumon ninyo ang population, kag ang sampling sa population. Okay, let's continue. So the population from which the sample is drawn may not be the same as the population about which information is desired. So there is a slight difference for the whole population and the population representation. And then often than not, there is a large but not complete overlap between these two groups due to the frame issues. So the time spent in making the sample population and that the population of the concerned precise is often well spent. It raises many issues like ambiguity and questions that would otherwise have been overlooked at this stage. So just like we discussed about yesterday, when we speak about sampling methods, this is the probability sampling method and non-probability sampling method. This is divided into two. So for probability sampling method, each subject or unit in the population has no non-zero probability of being included in the sample. So meaning this allows the application of probability theory to estimate how likely it is that the sample reflects the target population. In statistical terms, a calculation of sampling error can be made. So there are several types of probability sampling methods, and then the first two listed below are the frequently used as the sole sampling method or combined with other probability sampling methods. So these are the following. Number one is simple random sampling. When we speak about simple random sampling, this refers to the simple arrangement of sampling sizes. When we speak about systemic sampling, this is systematized in such a way that you have procedures. Like, for example, if you're going to, say, for example, if you want to produce a sample by fives, then you can actually account from 1 to 100. Your sample sizes are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 for that order. So that is systematic. For stratified naman, stratified random is a complicated one because you have several levels na ginatawag sa stratified random. And then the same thing as multi-stage sampling. For stratified naman, you can have the block or area na pwede mo bulan ka sample. For multi-stage, this has levels which includes, for example, if you divide your sample sizes in rows and columns, and you label is A1, A2, A3, A4, so on and so forth. So you're going to draw lots of which cell your sample belongs. Like, for example, C1, E2, E3, D4, D5. So those are multi-stage sampling. For cluster sampling naman, it's like a pizza pie wherein you're going to divide it by 8 abe. Kung i-divide yung pizza by 8, so it means nga kawalo mo tungaon ang pizza. And then one slice for that is one cluster. So can you imagine the cluster representation for the pizza pie? So amo da. Now let's go to non-probability sampling methods. When we speak about non-probability sampling method, these are the selection of subjects or units that is left to the discretion of the researcher, and methods are less structured and less strict, meaning to say wala siya rules. So kalabanan guys, take note. If you're going to have your capstone and you are going to compute or tabulate for the results, not the results yet, but the sample sizes gali, the sampling method. Kalabanan nga ginaano naton is non-probability since nga ang sample size naton wa ay nagasobra sa 30. So dapat inyo hindi magsobra sa 30 ang sample size. So that ang pwede nyo gamiton is non-probability sampling method. So probability theory cannot be used to estimate the sampling error because non-probability sampling methods are usually used for qualitative, and then when the purpose is exploratory or interpretative. So the common types of such sampling methods are tatlo lang. We have the convenient sampling wherein kung sino lang yung pwede nyo butungon or sino lang yung pwede available at that time. So that's convenient sampling. The purposive sampling is used to for the purpose of may specific ang mga persons na magamit ka system na sandaya i-evaluate ninyo. So our example last time is that Like for example, if you are going to develop an inventory system for the barangay, then din nyo testingan. So, testingan ninyo sa mga magamit ka system. So like kung yung magamit ka system ninyo is our barangay officials, then ilimit lang ninyo sa barangay officials ang test ninyo, ang sampling, ang size ninyo, ang sampling size. So that is purposive. When we speak about quota sampling naman, this refers to the quota. Like for example, if you have a quota of 80 people out of 100 people, then you must meet 80 people get out of 100. Okay, so I think it's clear now kung anong ginatawag natin probability and non-probability sampling methods. So for your activity number 15, what you're going to do, guys, is to refer to non-probability sampling methods. These are the three. Ang kagina. So you're going to select among the three sampling method and propose your sampling technique. So you may use any online and offline software, provided it'll be copyrighted by any processor. So what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to write your title. You're going to write your title, and then you're going to make three sampling method, like for the this one, convenient sampling, purposive, and quota. So, for example, if convenient sampling lang, ibutang ninyo dyan, i-relate ninyo kung paano ninyo obrahon ang convenient sampling sa barangay, sa title ninyo. Purposive sampling, kung purposive sampling ang gamiton nyo, paano nyo i-apply ang purposive sampling sa title ninyo. And then, ang quota sampling, amuman, the same as the two. So, dyan ka mo mabuol ka idea base sa title ka study ninyo. And then, kung ano ang purposive sampling or quota sampling, purposive sampling, convenience, or quota, yung pwede ninyo mahimo. Okay. So, ang sa thesis book naton, ang kalabanan nga sample nga sampling technique ang ginagamit nanda is purposive. May dyan man nga convenience. So, I think i-clear ko lang ha, hindi it isa lang imo ninyo, tatlo gid, convenience, purposive, ka quota. So, isa lang ka paragraph, guys ha. Isa ka paragraph pero not more than 50 words siguro. So, umuda. So, for convenience sampling, purposive, and quota. Okay? Clear? Okay, so that will be your activity number 15. Now, for our code of the day, guys, please take note. What is the selection of a statistical sample of individuals from within a statistical population to estimate characteristics of the whole population? So, I think the code of the day is ang ano naton, ang title ka topic natin for this evening. Okay? So, ad astra per sapientia, guys, to the stars through knowledge. Okay, so thank you for attending our lecture for this evening, and happy fiesta sa taga Kalinog. Kag I hope that you learned something ang naton ha for this week. And then for sampling sizes, what you're going to do is to make lang ang sa non-probability sampling method, ang tatlo to bala, convenient sampling, purposive, and quota. So this is a group work, guys, and just like that, what we're going to do is you group among yourselves again and discuss about what are the specifics of the sampling techniques that you're going to use in your study. So again, suliton ko, nagadepende sa title ka study ninyo kung ano ya output ninyo. So ang kalabanan, guys, ka ginagamit naton sa purposive and quota. Purposive and convenient sampling. And then for the quota naman, ang i-discuss natin sa quota is that tandaan niyo ang quota is dapat may dyan ka mga specific nga number of persons or limit kung pera ang idugang ninyo or ibuhin. Like for example, if ang target ninyong population is 20 kabilog, so kung mag-quota ka mo, like 18 out of 20 na, or 20 out of 20. So, pwede man nga take all na lang. Take all means tanan-tanan sanda. Kaya 20 malang mo, gamay malang da guys, ang 20 gani. So, tandaan ninyo, ang kung magsobra ka mo sa 30, hindi na non-probability ang gamiton ninyo. So magamit na kamo ka Sloven's formula kag na gamiton ninyo simple random sampling lang. So muda in such cases it is better if limit lang ninyo ang number of participants sa sampling para ang number of respondents so that ma-control ninyo ang data nga pwede ninyo i-manipulate kay ang result ninyo is ang depende ang study ninyo sa result kay paano ninyo mahimo kamo ka result kung hindi ninyo anay mabalaan ng sample size. So may prerequisite ang sampling sa result. That is why kinahanglan gid ninyo ang sampling nga. So until now siguro sanda purposive sampling. So like for example, kung inventory system, inventory para sa kay sino, pirasan na kabilog magamit, laban-laban man lang sa inventory yan, nagakapot man lang ka cashier ang cashier man lang kag ang isa ka personnel ang naga-imo ka inventory no, ang in charge sa inventory. Or sometimes kung depende sa business no, kung hanggod, kung gamay man lang sari-sari store or higher than that MSME, gamay man lang ang nagakapot ka inventory nga ano. So ang magamit ka inventory amo man lang naga-inventory ka ka stocks. Or may dyan man ang inventory ka sales. Lain ang inventory sa stocks, lain man ang inventory sa sales. Pero sometimes ginatingob do lang anang duwa nga da para sa year-end report kag sa monthly report. So kadalasan ginaimo nga report is monthly para maman-an na ang trend. Or may dyan man siguro nga 15 no, 15 half by monthly, meaning kada wasan da mag-inventory kada 15 kag kada 30. Hayti man-an da ang technique kada dyan is kung man-an mang inventory sa 15, may tendency nga man-an mo kung ano yung mabakal ninyo nga products. And then that's the time nga magpangumpra ka duro. Kag man-an nyo kung manantawon ninyo naman at the end of the month kung sakto gid man nga mabakal siya or hindi. So sometimes inventory ginagamit para sa reference kadang nanda. Magamit kada amo daya samplingan ninyo ang magamit ka system. So kalabanan respondents ninyo ang clients. Okay, so clear kita guys ha. Convenience sampling kung sino available lang. Ang quota is ma-quota ka mo kung pira. Ang purposive sampling ang para gid kasi na purpose ang purposive. So unique ang purposive kay dapat nakasentro lang ka na or tana lang gid ang makasabat do mo dablaw. So purposive day Why dun ibang tao, why dun sanda lang na kung duro sanda example more than 1, 3 or 5 persons, purposive do lang gamiton ninyo. Kung hindi available ang respondent, convenience ay kung sino lang dayan tanalay butongon ninyo kag kandakan. Observary bala ninyo guys si fourth year do karon hay naga-post sanda sa social media. Ang sampling technique nanda is it might be convenient sampling. Kay kung sino lang available nga magsabat ka kadang nanda kadang may evaluate bala ka system nanda which is kamo amo da ginasamplingan nanda kamo. So depende man da sa title kadang capstone nanda. So kung labasaha bala ninyo kung kisa yun ang nanda kung makita ninyo kung daw friends man kamo bala sa social media naga-conduct sanda ka nanda ka thesis. So lantawan ninyo bala ang ginaobra nanda tulad kay sampling technique convenient sampling da tawag. Okay. Or probably depende no kung duro ang dati simple random sampling ang probability na siya. Pero ang convenience non-probability. Okay, so some questions guys. Let me know if if you have questions so that I can answer it. Okay, no more. So very good. Thank you for attending our lecture for this evening. I-print screen ko lang guys. And you don't need to open your your camera, dali lang. This is for documentation purposes. Para may pakita naman ako at the end of the month sa gina-document namon daya abi. ano ninyo. Ino-document naman kung sino yung attend ka klase. Okay, so hold on na. Dali lang yun, guys. So, salamat gid sa pag-attend ka klase naton and mayong gabi gid sa tanan. I will make sure to end the class. Kay kagin na waay maanong recording napatay lang naglawig kay wala maano. So, salamat gid guys kag mayong gabi gid sa tanan.